Hello and welcome to the BetHelper betting preview. The game we're going to be looking at now is the first game of the last 16 round. The Uruguay versus South Korea. The venue here is Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela Stadium, Nelson Mandela Bay. Kickoff time here is 3 p.m. Have a look at the Asian handicap markets. The handicap here is Uruguay minus a half, South Korea plus a half. The Asian markets have Uruguay flat at 1.95. They've South Korea slightly drifting. They've drifted to 1.98 to 1.99 now up to 2.0. Have a look at the unders and overs market. The under handicap is 2.25, so not expecting too many goals. There's actually been a change in that down to 2, so they're definitely not expecting more than 2 goals. Since the handicap changed to 2, the odds are drifting again, so we might actually see a handicap change again before kickoff tomorrow. The fixed odds from Asia are flat. They've Uruguay at 1.86, South Korea at 4.47, and the draw 3.29. So clear to see there that Uruguay are the favourite side on the fixed odds. Having a look at Vegas, which is a new thing for us. The point spread, it's Uruguay minus a half, South Korea plus a half. They've Uruguay flat at 1.83. South Korea flat at 1.97, while the unders and overs, it's also the over 2 market there as well, and that's 1.85, so it's a bit lower than the Asian markets. Have a look at the fixed odds from Vegas. They've Uruguay at 1.86, the draw 3.25, while South Korea coming at 4.25. So again, I'll see that as Uruguay are heavy favourites there. The odds on the draw and the South Korea victory are a little bit lower than what they are in Asia, which is a bit of a surprise. Having a look at the betting exchanges, the betting exchanges have Uruguay flat at 1.95. They've South Korea drifting at 5 from 4.9, and they've the draw shortening at 3.4 in from 3.45. In terms of percentages matched, Uruguay have 83%. The draw accounts for only 7%, while South Korea only account for 7%, while the draw comes in at 10%. The unders and overs, the over 2.5 goal mark is actually drifting. It was at 2.78, it's now 2.8, and the over 2.5 goal market there is only accounting for 6% of the market. Currently, there's only just over 200,000 matched at the betting exchanges, so that will be well over 2 million, possibly 4 million by the time kickoff. So we'll have to look at that later. Looking at the bookies have Uruguay flat at 1.9, South Korea flat at 4.5, while the draw comes in at 3.4. The unders and overs, the over 2.5 goal market is at 2.6, so again they're not expecting over 2.5 goals there. Have a look at the form. Uruguay have excellent form. They have 4 wins, 2 draws in their last 6 games with 0 defeats. So far in the competition, they've beaten Mexico 1-0, beat South Africa 3-0, and drew 0-all with France in their opening game. So they've 4 goals scored and they've yet to concede. Meanwhile, South Korea have pretty average form. They've 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses in the last 6 games. They've actually won of each in their 3 games so far. They opened with a 2-0 win against Greece, then they went on to lose 4-1 against Argentina, and then they ended up drawing 2-all with Nigeria. So having a look at the head-to-head form, there's been 2 previous meetings. Uruguay have won both 2-0. They came in 2007 and 2003. Looking at some streaks, Uruguay have 3 draws in the last 5 World Cup games. So they've the last 2 wins, they've won 2 in a row, and before that it was 3 draws in a row. South Korea have only 1 clean sheet in the last 8 World Cup games, so they're not exactly the best defensive side in the competition. So you would expect Uruguay to score at least. South Korea have never beaten a South American side at the World Cup. I think they've only played 3 South American opponents, but still yet to defeat one. Uruguay unbeaten in their last 5 World Cup games. As I said previously, they've won their last 2 and they've drawn their previous 3. But they've kept 4 clean sheets in in their last five World Cup games. So it's a very, very good performance at the World Cup level. Looking at the rankings, Uruguay come at 16th according to FIFA, while they're 14th according to the ELO rankings. Meanwhile, then South Korea are 47th according to FIFA, while they come in at 22nd according to the ELO rankings. So they had a good qualifying in Asia to get to this tournament. Have a look at the ref. The ref for this one is Wolfgang Stark. He's from Germany. He's refed a couple of games already. He refed the Argentina-Nigeria game, where he gave 2 yellows. There was only 1 goal in that game. And he also refed Slovenia versus England. He gave 4 yellows in that game, and there was only 1 goal in that. So he's refed some of the low-scoring games. He's refed 86 international games. He's given 326 yellow cards, giving him an average of 3.79 yellows per game. He's given 18 red cards, giving him an average of 0.21 reds per game. So that's about average. And he's given 13 penalties, giving an average of 0.15 penalties per game. So again, that's about average. As so is his yellow card rating. So he is one of the better refs in the tournament, and he might end up being the finalist ref if Germany don't get there. Looking at the injury suspensions, there's no worries for either coach here, so that's a welcome bit of news for them. Looking at the goals scored in qualifying, Uruguay have an average of 1.77 scored, while they conceded an average of 1.16 goals, and that's in qualifying. And so far in this competition, Uruguay have an average of 1.33 goals scored per game, while they've conceded 0 goals yet so far, so they have a very good defensive record. Looking at South Korea, in qualifying they had an average of 1.5 goals scored per game, while they conceded an average of 0.375 goals per game. So a very good defensive record there in qualifying. But again, the Asian Confederation isn't the strongest. And looking at this tournament, they've an average scored of 1.66 goals per game, so they've managed to score in all of their games so far. They've scored 2 against Greece, and they scored 2 against Nigeria, just the 1 against Argentina. And they've conceded an average of 2 goals per game. They obviously conceded 4 against Argentina, which threw that out of whack. Looking at the probabilities, the computer probabilities for Uruguay victory sends them at 65% chance of victory. South Korea then have a 23% chance of victory, while the draw comes in at 12%. So undoubtedly here that Uruguay are the favourites here in terms of their stats and where their money is flowing. Have a look then at South Korea, or have a look at the implied probabilities based on what the bookmakers think. The bookmakers odds imply that Uruguay have a 51% chance of victory, while South Korea have a 20% chance of victory, while the draw comes in at 29%. So the bookmakers have Uruguay undervalued, they've South Korea about right, and they've the draw overvalued. Obviously, the bookmakers in every game so far have had a higher probability on the draw, given that they like to keep their odds short in the draws. And the games we've seen so far have been very cagey, and there haven't been many goals, so it has actually remained scoreless for long periods of times in most of the matches. Not all of them, but a large percentage of them. Have a look then at some suggestions. At the moment it's very early days. People are still looking at the Chile-Spain game and the Swiss-Honduras match, so it's a bit early to be making any calls. It's interesting to see that South Korea are drifting on the Asian handicap markets. I'd also be looking at the under 2.5 goal market, maybe even under the 2 goal market, depending on what happens in the next 24 hours. The referees are pretty decent, so I wouldn't be expecting many yellows or reds in this one. So yeah, we're going to leave you now with some wags. We're going to have Diego Forlan's girlfriend and South Korean striker's girlfriend. So check out twitter.com /BetHelper to get some updated market news and analysis and my final picks for the game. So leave any feedback below.